politicians don't want you to understand. You'll discover why recent job losses could accelerate benefit cuts by 2-3 years, which specific numbers you need to watch, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself before it's too late. Welcome to Financial Area, where we break down complex financial topics that directly impact your wallet. If you want to stay ahead of economic changes that could affect your retirement, hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's start with some numbers that should terrify anyone planning for retirement. The unemployment rate has surged from 3.4% in January 2023 to 4.3% as of the latest data. That's nearly a full percentage point increase in just 20 months. Now, you might think that doesn't sound like much, but in economic terms, this is massive. But here's where it gets really alarming. Let me walk you through the monthly job creation numbers for 2025, and you'll see why this trend is so dangerous. In January, we created 111,000 jobs. February saw 102,000 new jobs. March bounced back slightly with 120,000, and April looked promising with 158,000 jobs created. Then everything started falling apart. May crashed to just 19,000 jobs created. But June 2025 was the real shock. We actually lost 13,000 jobs. Let me repeat that. The economy lost jobs for the first time since 2020. July and August saw weak recoveries with only 79,000 and 22,000 jobs created respectively. This isn't just another economic downturn. This is happening at the worst possible time for Social Security. The system is already on life support, and these job losses are like pulling the plug on the patient. Most people don't realize that their job and everyone else's job is literally what keeps Social Security alive. Here's the connection that almost nobody talks about. Every single paycheck you receive has 6.2% taken out for something called FICA taxes. Your employer matches that with another 6.2%. That money doesn't go into some personal account with your name on it. Instead, it immediately gets used to pay current Social Security recipients. This is called a pay-as-you-go system, and it's completely dependent on having a steady stream of workers paying in. Think of it like a pipeline. Workers on one end putting money in, retirees on the other end taking money out. When that pipeline starts to dry up because of job losses, the whole system is in trouble. Now, you might ask, didn't Social Security save money for situations like this? Well, yes and no. In the past, when there were more workers than retirees, FICA contributions brought in more money than was needed to pay benefits. That surplus went into two trust funds, which currently hold about $2.6 trillion. But here's the problem. We're already using that money. For years now, FICA contributions haven't been enough to cover 100% of Social Security benefits. Every month, the system has to dip into those trust funds to make up the difference. And every month, that $2.6 trillion gets a little smaller. Under normal circumstances, those trust funds were projected to run out in about 8 to 9 years. But with rising unemployment and fewer people paying in, we're draining those reserves faster than expected. Instead of 8 to 9 years, we could be looking at just 6 to 7 years before the money runs out completely. Let me put this in perspective. When unemployment rises from 4.3% to, say, 5.3%, that's roughly 1.6 million fewer workers paying in to Social Security. Each of those workers was contributing thousands of dollars per year. Multiply that across millions of workers, and you're talking about billions of dollars in lost revenue for Social Security. But the damage doesn't stop there. Higher unemployment creates a domino effect. Businesses that lay off workers obviously stop contributing the employer portion of FICA taxes. Companies that go bankrupt stop contributing entirely. Consumer spending drops, which slows economic growth and reduces overall tax revenues. It's a vicious cycle that accelerates Social Security's problems. The really scary part is what happens when those trust funds dry up. If Congress doesn't act, Social Security won't just disappear, but it will be forced to rely solely on incoming FICA contributions. And as we've established, those contributions aren't enough to pay full benefits. The result would be an across-the-board cut to everyone's Social Security payments. So what are the potential solutions? Politicians have proposed several approaches, and none of them are pleasant. Let's start with the revenue side. One option is raising the payroll tax cap.
Right now, only the first $176,100 of your income is subject to FICA taxes. If you make $200,000 a year, you only pay Social Security taxes on the first $176,100. If you make $2 million a year, same thing. You only pay on that first $176,100. Some lawmakers want to raise or eliminate this cap entirely. This would mean high earners would contribute significantly more to Social Security. A person making $500,000 a year would see their Social Security taxes increase by about $20,000 annually. Someone making millions would pay tens of thousands more. Another revenue option is simply raising the FICA tax rate. Instead of 6.2% from both employee and employer, it could go to 7.2% or higher. This would hit every working person, not just high earners. For someone making $60,000 a year, a 1% increase would mean an extra $600 in taxes annually. But politicians also talk about cutting benefits, and this is where things get really concerning for current and future retirees. One common proposal is raising the full retirement age from 67 to 68 or 69. This might not sound like much, but it's essentially a 7% benefit cut for each year the retirement age is raised, because you're collecting benefits for fewer years of your life. Another proposal is eliminating or reducing cost of living adjustments. These are the annual increases that help Social Security benefits keep up with inflation. Without them, your benefits would lose purchasing power every year, especially during periods of high inflation like we've seen recently. Here's the brutal truth about these benefit cuts. They don't actually solve the underlying problem. They're just ways to make the numbers look better on paper while making retirees bear the cost. The real issue is insufficient revenue, and that can only be fixed by getting more money into the system. This brings us back to why those jobs reports matter so much. Every month that unemployment stays high or job creation remains weak, Social Security's financial position gets worse. The trust funds deplete faster, and the day of reckoning moves closer. So what should you be watching? First, the unemployment rate itself. Anything above 4% should concern you, and we're already at 4.3%. If it hits 5% or higher, Social Security is in serious trouble. Second, watch those monthly job creation numbers. The economy needs to create at least 150,000 to 200,000 jobs per month just to keep up with population growth. We've been falling short of that target consistently. Third, pay attention to legislative proposals in Washington. Any discussion about raising the payroll tax cap, increasing FICA rates, or changing benefit formulas directly affects your future. And finally, watch for the annual Social Security Trustees Report, which provides official projections about when the trust funds will run out. But here's what you can do right now. First, understand that Social Security's problems are solvable, but only if Congress acts. Contact your representatives and make it clear that you want comprehensive reform that includes new revenue sources, not just benefit cuts. Second, don't rely entirely on Social Security for your retirement. Even if the system is fixed, benefits were never designed to be anyone's sole source of retirement income. Build your own savings and investments as a buffer. Third, stay informed. Follow reliable sources for updates on Social Security's financial health and proposed reforms. The more you understand, the better you can advocate for solutions that work. The bottom line is this: Social Security's future is directly tied to the health of our job market. Those monthly employment reports aren't just economic statistics. They're early warning signals about the financial security of millions of Americans. Rising unemployment means fewer workers paying in, faster trust fund depletion, and a higher likelihood of benefit cuts. We're at a critical juncture. The job losses we've seen in 2025, combined with Social Security's existing challenges, could accelerate the crisis by several years. But this isn't inevitable. Congress has the power to fix this, either by increasing revenue or by finding new funding sources for Social Security. The question is whether they'll act before it's too late, or whether they'll wait until the crisis forces their hand. Your voice, your vote, and your advocacy can make the difference. Don't wait until the trust funds are empty to start paying attention. The time to act now. If this video opened your eyes to the connection between jobs and Social Security, please give it a like and subscribe to Financial Area for more insights that could protect your financial future. And let me know in the comments, are you concerned about Social Security's long-term viability? What do you think Congress should do to fix this problem? Your engagement helps us create more content that matters to your financial well-being.
What if I told you that every jobs report could be secretly determining whether you'll receive your full Social Security benefits or face devastating cuts? Most people have no